They say time heal all wounds, but neglecting the point that the wound comes from time off of stretching a joint. Everything is crisscrossing incorrect at this point. Like how these pedophiles become blessed and anoint. Are they still pedophiles, indirect and discreet? And what about them killers who had respect on the streets? They say once upon a time he have you resting in peace. Now that same individual investing in peace. Then I watch my homegirl transform from a sweet wife after years of abuse to living a street life. And I never once judged her when things didn't seem right, cause I understood the dark times, even in screen light. But it was God's grace and mercy. That's why I speak about Jesus and protect my joy at all costs, so we keeping it peaceful. Welcome to this week's edition of Keeping a Peace podcast. You rocking with Trinity Team 504 outside of the building today, and my co-host, the Miss Beautiful C Love.
Hey guys.
All right, C, I'm gonna let you take the lead today, man. I'm tired, so go ahead.
Not you tired.
Man, long day, man. Long day. I was up at like 5, and then the day job was day jobbing, and then the side hustle was side hustling. But nonetheless, I love y'all, so I'm still here no matter what, man.
No, all right. So yeah, we're gonna start off with some new topics for this week or for what's been going on for the past few weeks since we did miss a couple. But everything is still relevant. Um, we have the five Italians that died in the Maldives cave. Five were found dead. I believe there is like 10 that went in, and basically what happened is that, I mean, they took a dive too deep, right? They went into this
Mhm.
cave where
Rescue crews in the Maldives are searching for the bodies of Italian tourists who died while scuba diving in a cave there. Italy's foreign minister says the group of five died while exploring this area more than 160 feet underwater. Rescuers have already recovered one of the bodies. The search for the others has been temporarily suspended due to bad weather. The big mystery is how and why this happened on what should have been a routine excursion. NBC's Raf Sanchez has more.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, a real tragedy at sea out in the Maldives. Here's what we know. 5 Italian tourists were killed in this scuba diving accident. That's according to the Italian Foreign Ministry. They were exploring a set of caves about 165 feet underneath the surface of the water. It's not clear exactly what went wrong, but it seems like they weren't able to find their way out of the caves, get back to the surface. If you know anything about scuba diving, you know that that is one of the more dangerous activities you can take under the water. A major effort underway to try to recover the bodies from those caves going on in the Maldives. Now, 4 out of the 5 were associated with the University of Genoa, and one of them, a professor of ecology named Monica Montefalcone, was there with her daughter Georgia, both of them now killed. Montefalcone, actually fairly well known in Italy. She appeared on TV a lot, talking about conservation issues, a high-profile academic. At this point, the university is saying the sympathy of the entire university community goes out to the families, colleagues, and students who shared their human and professional journey. So a real tragedy for people at that academic institution. As we said, the Maldives say that they are committed to doing what they can to try to recover these bodies from below the surface of the water, and the Italian government says it is in contact with the victims' families and it's offering consular assistance. Tom.
they missed like a lot of protocols, right? They were supposed to get rope so that they could go ahead and find their way back and things of that nature. They didn't do that. There was a husband and a wife that went in there. The husband tried to keep going, but then lost his vision. So he ended up swimming back, made it out, let the people know in the boat, you know, what was going on underwater. His wife kept going. Um, so They go to the end of the deep, so there's like three pods, right? Three cave pops. And so they go into way deep to swim back up on the first one, and they stayed there. They were able to be up in air, but something was wrong with their tanks.
Hmm.
So one of them died. One of them survived and tried helping the other one that died, but couldn't. So he ended up swimming back out and going to the boat. The others passed away. They lost, like I said, they lost their vision. They kept going into the cave, and so it got muddy, and they couldn't see. And they say that you get like anxiety. So it turns out that they got anxiety, and usually when that happens, that can also cause you to just panic and die.
Right.
So yeah, so five were dead. Most of them were young. There was a few like in their 40s, but I mean, rest in peace to them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I heard that they were like, I don't know how true it is, right? Because you hear like a million stories, but somebody said that they was warned not to go, because of one was the weather, and two, like something sucked them in or something, like they went down too deep. But they were given like forewarnings, but they still wanted the thrill, so they went. And I'm like, man, they wanted a thrill that bad where you like chase your debt. And I'm like,
Right.
wow. And I'm not judging because I don't know if it's true because nobody deserves to lose their life either way. But just
Right.
reading the story like blew my mind.
This dog is like so in love with me.
I
Look
see.
how he just lays on my shoulder. Like he makes me feel so like
Like
wanted.
he's a real baby or something. That's
Right.
crazy.
My dog. He thinking he's my husband. Right,
My
Diddy.
niece said that's her dog.
Yeah, that's her dog. He'll watch. He watches. I call him. I watch. He watches the kids. I'll be like, go watch the kids.
Our pet and a half are under the bed.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Topic number two: UFO footage disclassified. I did read about this, but I'm not really too familiar of what that was about. So I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, so this is my thoughts on it too. So again, we here because we bounce and repel off of each other. So my thoughts on UFOs in general, I don't think that we're the only humans or species out there. I know it's other living beings out there because you got to be crazy to think God just made us and us alone. But when it
Right.
comes to stuff like aliens and all this stuff in particular, from the voices for the stuff that we see on TV, to me it's just demons. Because that's the mindset that it put me in from the talk of you hear one talk even what they betray on TV, right? So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like demonic forces and they just change the names like they do everything else to try to force that narrative on those people. But with the White House, they were saying that Barack, of course, I always say they got different agendas that they try to push. So the agenda on this one was Barack let out White House intelligence talking about the UFO is real and all of that stuff because supposedly that's where it come from. But then Trump and his people was like the footage that they have is legit footage and all of this stuff.
Not since fictional alien invaders did this to the White House. In the blockbuster Independence Day, has a U.S. president's views on extraterrestrial life drawn as much attention as Barack Obama's did this weekend when he was asked on a podcast,
"Are aliens real?"
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
That answer quickly generating 26 million views online and lots of follow-up questions.
Is this something that we should be concerned about?
Back in 2007, candidate Obama sounded far less certain about life beyond Earth.
I don't know, and I don't presume to know.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
But the former president, who has long declared himself a fan of Star Trek's highly logical alien Spock, quickly clarifying, I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us. Really. So the truth, it seems, may still be out there, but Barack Obama, just like the rest of us, doesn't know it for sure. Really.
And Garrett Haake joins us tonight from the White House. So, Garrett, we got a sense of what the former president had to say about aliens, but what about President Trump? Has he sort of dabbled in these UFO waters?
He's dabbled and he's been asked about it repeatedly, Tom, over the years, and this is another issue on which these two presidents disagree. President Trump, as recently as during the campaign, was asked about UFOs and aliens. He said he's seen lots of evidence, but he himself is not a believer. And for what it's worth, there is actually pretty good polling on this, Tom. But 65% of Americans say they believe in some capacity that we are not alone out there.
I think it's all like a decoy to get our mind off of the real stuff that's
For
happening in
sure.
America, man. Yeah.
I believe that's how everything is. Like the whole FIFA. If it's not FIFA, it's the Super Bowl. If it ain't the Super
Right.
Bowl, it's the Olympics. If it's not the Olympics, you know what I mean? It's always something going on. So I really don't ever buy into any of those things. I do believe that we're not the only species in this world. I mean, we have all these different planets.
Right.
There's something living out there, right? So yeah, I definitely believe that too. I don't dive too much into it though, because I'm just kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird.
But you
Because it's
see
like
when
there's
all these
God
rich
and then there's
people be like,
science,
it's
right?
life on Mars and they going out of space and what you going out to something up there, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to send, people out there. So it's like
Right.
they know something. They're just not letting everyone know about it.
Facts.
All right. Topic number 3, Aimee Bock. She got sentenced to 42 years in prison in a massive $250 million Feeding Our Future scheme. They're calling her a Minnesota mastermind in fraud. So basically, what she was doing, she had this charity to feed young children, and she
Mhm.
was stealing money from it. She claims that she doesn't know, and so now she's starting to throw names out there, saying, "I didn't know this transaction or this and this was going on." So now she's trying to throw like names out there and like basically snitching on them. But they gave her 42 years. I'm sorry, but those white people.
But
They
of
just they're
course,
they're 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 a different type of criminals.
so
Are you denying that you committed any fraud at all?
I am denying that I knowingly allowed fraud to occur. I understand that the claims that were submitted, the claims that I entered, were fraudulent. But at the time that they were being submitted, I had no idea that they were fraudulent until the feds and the FBI investigated and some of these things came out. I had no comprehension of the number of layers of players that these
I think, Aimee,
individuals.
some would hear you say that and say, how could you have not known how insane these numbers had become?
Well, I would say there was a few things that happened. One, in hindsight, I agree with you completely.
her telling is part of her trying to get that sentence down. You know that's how it worked with like the
For
federal
sure.
crimes anyway. But they gave her all
Mhm.
that time, and I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. Like, cause
That they gave her that much.
yeah, cause I was like, no, she gonna. I said she might get a 10 piece. Like I was way off, but no way in hell I thought they was gonna give her the time
I
that they
feel
gave her.
like I feel like she's the gateway for the people who they don't really want to, put behind bars. I
Right.
always feel like there's always somebody who's, like the face for the crime. So I feel like she's just the face for the crime. Obviously, there's other people who know what she was doing, who was involved, that are not getting charged for anything.
But her talking, I think her talking will. It may not be up front, but they gonna give her clemency later on down the line, like a hush hush type thing.
We'll see if she gives the right name.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you gonna fall on this sword for now, and we'll come get you later.
Right.
Kind of
No,
like
for
that Diddy
sure.
situation. You see how his time keep getting pushed up slowly, like that.
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
You like, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yep. The face for the crime. Diddy, though, I do believe he committed those crimes. Obviously, he didn't do it by himself. He had some help in it.
Right.
He was also groomed. Um, but yeah, it's just, I mean, everybody's gonna pay their price, right? At the end of the day, there's Judgment Day, and you're gonna get
Yeah, like if you
what's
think
coming
you
for
got
you.
away with it in this life, you're not gonna get away with it in the next life anyway. But the
I
key
learned
is,
very, very young. The criminal never wins.
even
Or
if
not
you
even the
got it
criminal, but
right,
the bad guy never wins, right? They're gonna end up dead, they're gonna end up jail, or in jail. There's a book that I read, and after that I was just like, huh, well, let me not do nothing bad, because eventually you're gonna get
they get
caught. You're gonna
caught,
get
right?
caught. Yeah.
Because they gonna pay for it, right? It look good while they going through it, but everybody, the drug dealers, the rape, everybody,
Mhm.
you may ball out for a season, but that season will come to an end, my friend.
For sure, for sure. I agree. Cyrus Carmack-Belton.
Oh
If
man,
you
rest in
haven't heard
peace
his
to the
name,
young brother. Yeah, rest in peace, man.
We begin the broadcast with some breaking news tonight. As the community is reacting to the verdict in the Rick Chow murder case, protesters gathering outside the gas station that he formerly owned, the gas station he owned at the time of the incident. News 19's Jamin Wade was there tonight.
Richland County Sheriff's Department has shut down both ways over here on Park Lane Road, where a protest is taking place following Monday night's verdict. Dozens of people gathered outside the former Shell gas station Tuesday evening, less than 24 hours after a jury found Rick Chow not guilty in the shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. The crowd lined Park Lane Road, holding signs and chanting, voicing their frustrations with the verdict. Those in attendance said their focus was on supporting Cyrus's family and gathering to make their voices heard.
I feel like this is a peaceful protest. Nothing has been done to make it not peaceful. It's just a peaceful protest. At the end of the day, this is for Cyrus. We're just trying to be out here and support.
Several people at the protest said that this starts with showing more compassion for one another and finding common ground even during times of disagreement.
Love each other. Please keep loving your hearts. Because if we keep loving our hearts, then we won't pick these weapons up. Then we won't feel like we have to fight each other.
The Sheriff's Department continued to monitor the area throughout the evening. No major incidents has been reported. Reporting in Columbia, Jamin Wade, News 19 WLTX.
All right, Jamin. Earlier today, our Kiki Gushu was out gathering reaction from several areas as well. Take a listen.
To answer the question of how I'm feeling everything. Every possible thing you can think of. All my friends with children, I know that their heart ached after that verdict. And it's not just the black parents. Everyone feels that because at the end of the day, this shouldn't be taken lightly.
It just didn't make sense to me because there was a lot of evidence.
Meanwhile, there were some folks online who are in support of the verdict. Eddie Johnson says, good deal, justice served, while Eric Keene said he is good with the jury's decision.
yeah. So if you haven't heard his name and don't know who he is, in 2023, he was shot dead by Rick Chow, which I won't say his name again. But yeah, so Cyrus Carmack-Belton was murdered under the assumption of him selling a bottled water. The prosecutor team, they did not want anything less than a murder charge. They couldn't prove that there was malintent in the murder or premeditated, that it was a premeditated. So he got found not guilty. Um, I was just looking into it furthermore. He got found not guilty. And just after looking at the footage and the video, and it's just like, I feel like the jury got it wrong this time. It's just like the evidence is there. It's
Yeah, but I
clear as
don't think it's
day.
squarely on the jury. I think the prosecutor dropped the ball by going after the. First of all, they did right
For not
because it
taking the
was a
lesser
murder.
charges.
Right,
That's what
right.
they did. They didn't take the
Yeah,
lesser charge.
right. But by them not taking a lesser charge, that's what, like, back to the Diddy stuff. That's what got him off. them, had they gone for the right charge, he would have got the right time, and it would have been there. And then I read into that case too, because it kind of made me upset. But like I said, I know everything is an agenda. But even before I got that mad to say, well, dang, they just killing these young black boys and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Supposedly the story is he pulled the gun on Chow's son. Supposedly that was the reason why he shot him. That he initially chased him because 4 bottled waters, like you said. Supposedly he accused him of stealing 4 bottled waters, but it wasn't even him. And then when he got outside, um, I guess he pulled the gun on the son because they were chasing
He
him or
never put
whatnot.
the gun on him. So there was 4 witnesses
Uh-huh.
that all testified and said that he never put a gun on him. There is nothing in his hand.
Right.
The child, because he was 14, so he was still a child, lost his shoe. 2 cell phones fell out of his pocket. So if you're running at a speed where you're losing your things, right? Your phones are falling out of your pocket. You're losing your shoe. You had a backpack. It done flew off on you. Where was this gun?
Right.
Like, make it
No,
make
I'm
sense.
I'm
How come the
with you.
gun
Right.
didn't? How
Yeah,
come the gun didn't fly out of your
I'm
pocket?
telling you,
So
there are reasons for saying he was not guilty, and like you said, it was no ill intent, and he claimed self defense. But I'm like, this is why I think he should have been found guilty. Period. Regardless, lesser charge or bigger charge. You chased him out of the store. He was already gone. So you chasing him, shooting him in the back is the crime in itself.
right, and not only that, him pulling a gun on him was never mentioned. It was never mentioned until later on. They found the gun on him. Till after he was shot on the floor. Who's to say his son didn't plant that gun or say,
Right,
oh,
right,
he had a
right.
gun? Like his
Yeah.
dad probably shot him and he was like, oh shit, the only way we're gonna get out of this is if we say he pulled the gun
So
on
yeah,
us.
like self
You know,
defense,
like
right?
because that's it's like you're running that fast and everything falls out of your pockets. You lose all of your things. The gun never falls out. Like it doesn't take rocket science to figure it out. And it's just like, so you're going based off of an assumption, based off of his word, opposed to footage, clear footage that we have of the incident of people of them running after him. He's not pulling out a gun. He's running away from them. He's not threatening him. He's not being rude. He doesn't yell at them, doesn't argue with them. Nothing. The kid leaves the store because he's being harassed not
Right,
only by the kid but by the mom. The mom's following him in the store, staring at his every move. So he leaves. Obviously, he's like, you know what? It was probably feeling weird, and he left. So it's just like I feel like they had one, they had one agenda.
right.
It's two big guys. He's a 14-year-old kid, two grown ass men chasing after a teenager. Like, what was the purpose of that? So I don't understand. I don't understand the jury. I don't understand the verdict. Um,
In South Carolina, I understand.
it's just
it's
it's
yeah, it's
crazy.
rural.
It's crazy
It's
how that
rural
can.
South, man. That's the only reason. Because I guarantee, if he was in any um quote unquote big city somewhere, yeah, they would have found him guilty.
Yeah, I felt like his community kind of felt him too. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'd be nosy because I'll be like, what the hell is going on? There's no way I would see a kid and two people running after him. Yes, I'm gonna think, okay, maybe it's theft, but I just felt like his community felt him too because everyone just stood around and watched.
And I
They
saw the
literally,
aftermath that they supposedly the community broke in the store and spray painted "Rest
oh
in
yeah,
Peace"
they
out. Yeah,
vandalized that
but
thing.
like, yeah, but that's not gonna bring that kid's life back. Like, y'all should have been there in the heat of the moment, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, all those people that I guess vandalized it were not there, and the people that were, again, they felt them. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. Um, like I heard the testimonies, he had a really good prosecutor, and he fought the case really good. Um, it's just, I guess, just hitting those points and making it less of a emotional thing, and like facts, right? In court, you
Hmm.
have to state facts. You know, you're
Right.
innocent until proven guilty. It says that everywhere. So if you can't prove that he's guilty and his intention was to kill this kid, you're gonna lose the case. You know, so I don't know. I'm just praying for his family. There's nothing they can do. He's a non-guilty. They said that if they try to like take it back to court or whatever, then it would be like a double jeopardy thing. So
Yeah, right. It will
that's
have
not
to
an
be a
option.
yeah, it'll have to be a whole nother charge. And since you went for the big one the first time, so I said
Yeah.
they kind of like messed up themselves, man.
Right. They can do I think they said they can do like civil court. So hopefully
Hmm.
his mom doesn't give up um unless they let the streets take care of him. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, but that's all I got for today.
So I got one, man. I was watching and rapper Boosie, man. You know I had my own issues with him anyway, but
Mhm.
he supposedly went to a club. This allegedly went to a club. One of his female friends was trying to use the restroom. The bouncer told her no. As he bent over to pick up her stuff because it was inside the club on the ground, and the only reason he told her no because they was closing. And then he said Boosie hit him in the head with a hookah, and he already on uh felony parole and all of
Boosie
that
too
stuff.
old to be acting like that.
Right. And
What's
I don't
wrong
see
with
why he
him?
ain't in jail anyway, but that's
And
what.
he just had a baby. Like, dude, you're
Right.
old. What are you doing?
And the first thing you say, just like with that girl with the grape charge, oh, this a money grab. Come on, man. Everybody can't be at your top, man. You still want to be a gangster in your 40s? Go sit
Right.
down, man.
I think he's well past over his 40s.
So, yeah, go sit down. You ain't going to be happy till somebody give you what you asking for. Or you back
Right.
in the penitentiary on a life sentence.
Right. Then he's gonna regret made he's gonna regret he didn't make other decisions.
Right.
Crazy, crazy.
But look, I have one more question before we end, and we're gonna end on that because I want to hear your uh perspective on this from a female standpoint.
Yeah, go ahead.
So a guy, right? A guy tell you he wants to take you out. He got plans. You say okay, and then he asks you, "So what you want to do, or where you want to go?" Turn off, turn on.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Elaborate. Why?
I feel like I don't know. So and maybe this is just me, and maybe this is why I'm single. I don't know. But I feel like, you spend your time talking to people, right? And I don't know. We're older now, but even when I was young, you spend time talking to people. You're getting to know people. So I feel like after a certain number of times after talking with said person, you should have already spoke about what you like, what you don't like, what your interests are, and you should know somewhat, okay, we have this, in common, or we have that in common, or she likes this or she likes that. I feel like a man has enough information at that point to plan a date. Like, who doesn't like to eat?
Right.
So it's just like planning a date is not hard. So it's just like, if you're gonna ask me out on a date, cool. That's step one. But plan it. Don't have me plan a date. Like, I'm a single mom, head of household. I make all the decisions here. You think I also want to take on planning a date? Like, I don't know. I feel like a man is supposed to lead. And so if I'm having to pick out where we're going for a date, then you're not leading. You're letting me lead. And I'm the woman? And then you're going to wonder why I'm not submissive and why I'm not in my feminine era. Well, shit, you're having me plan dates and you're having me. I feel like that's the start of destruction. I feel like a real man will be able to know how to plan a date on his own. And when I get asked out, all I ask is, am I dressing up or am I dressing down? Like, I like to dress for the occasion. So are we going to main event, or are we going to a fancy dinner? You know, are we going to happy hour, or are we going to a picnic at a park? I just need to know if I need to wear heels or sneakers, you know? So it's just like, that's the only question I need to be asking. But yeah, I mean, because I like to plan dates too. Not saying that men always have to plan all the dates. I like to plan dates too, but and when I do, you better believe I'm not going to ask you what, you know, oh, what do you want to do? I'm already going to know, hey, this and this, we're doing this and this, and after we're doing this and that, you know, like I'm going to have a whole itinerary out. But that's just the type of person that I am. I feel like men are losing uh, chivalry. I always say that. I always ask, like, does it still exist? Because this day and age is different. It is so different.
All right, fellas, y'all heard it from there, man. So until next week, thank y'all for rocking with us, man.
Bye, guys.